Veteran Salute is sponsored by the Devon James Injury Lawyers.
One man dreamed of flying when he was a kid.
Gwen Bevel and photojournalist Nicholas Kiefer show us how he did just that while history was in the making.
Bill Melanson says he's never regretted 1 minute of his time in service. He says it gave him a lifetime occupation that involved aviation and one he truly loved.
Even when I was a young kid, I'd go to the airport and watch the planes take off and land.
Bill Melanson was ripe for the draft, so he signed up for the Air Force.
You're not a very happy camper after basic training.
He went on to become a jet engine mechanic on bombers and tankers.
When you're that young, you don't realize how important the historical aspect could be in the future.
The missile crisis stands out the most to him.
I thought that was it. We immediately went on alert.
He says every B-52 on base and many tankers were ready.
Every airplane we had 2 hydrogen bombs on them.
He says they only left the flight line to eat.
We stayed there for 3 days. We came that close to an all-out war with Russia.
Melanson was part of other major headlines as well.
This is for the shuttle program. This obviously is the shuttle carrier aircraft.
The space race was on, and he says after the Challenger tragedy, when they resumed launches.
On the first launch, he came out and greeted the crew.
He says President George H.W. Bush also gave them all a letter.
Inspiring for me because I worked out there.
Melanson worked on the 747, the carrier for the shuttle.
When the shuttle is mated to the 747, the fuel that the shuttle uses is very dangerous.
He says he did get the thrill of his life on a return flight.
We used to fly on the shuttle carrier back from Florida, and he let me actually fly the airplane.
He did more than carpool and dine with astronauts and really got to know those like Gordon Fullerton.
That was a thrill of a lifetime.
Melanson cherishes this.
Yeah, I was quite moved over that.
The picture is signed by all the NASA personnel he worked with.
It really pulled my heartstrings when they did that.
Melanson also remembers war.
7 days a week.
They kept 70 combat missions up and taking off.
They just pounded Vietnam, pounded with iron bombs.
From aviation assignments in the jungle to ones that gave him out-of-this-world opportunities.
I love flying. I love airplanes.
Melanson had a lot to share, so he at one time taught aviation technology. He's been in the business since this photo was snapped in basic training, and he landed this on his first solo flight decades ago. But he says there is one leap of faith he has yet to take.
I haven't skydived. That's the only thing I haven't done.
As someone who spent a lot of time around aircraft, Melanson was thrilled to be able to put his skills to use when docked. The B-29 Super Fortress was rebuilt right here in Wichita. Here for you, Gwen Bevel, KSN News 3.
On behalf of Devon James Injury Lawyers, we're honored to recognize this week's veteran, Bill Melanson. Bill faithfully served our country in the United States Air Force. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the recognition, and I appreciate what all you guys have done for us.
Veteran Salute is sponsored by the Devon James Injury Lawyers.